Peace, family. You tuned in to another edition, another segment, another episode, of the Accountability Corner, where we have conversations with our higher selves that allows us to hold everybody accountable, but most importantly, ourselves. And today I'm just going to do a little quick something. I'm going to give myself half the time that I usually do. So instead of the half an hour, we're going to go with 15 minutes. And what we're going to talk about is energy. And I really wish I would have pulled up some stuff that I know would be helpful so that I could share my screen. But at this point in time, I think it to be highly necessary for us to discuss energy and what it is that we spend our energy on. And before I get too deep, I want to appeal to my higher self and plea to my higher self that I not only speak these words, but I live these words as well. And if I have been living these words, that I continue to, so that I'm not presenting myself as a hypocrite or one who lives or dwells in the realm of hypocrisy. So just to get into it, energy. There's so many different ways to go into energy, what energy is about, what we need to do to gain energy or to regain energy or fuel. And that would be the word that I would use. Energy would be fuel. I would use the word fuel to match energy synonymously. So what is it that we give fuel to? Okay. And when we deal with energy and fuel, we fail to realize how to gain energy, how to regain energy or to refuel. And then what I'm noticing is that we are fueling the wrong parts of this car. And an example is putting the gas in the radiator. Gas is, fuel is highly necessary for the functioning of a vehicle, but fuel in the wrong place can completely destroy a vehicle from the inside out. Because once it's destroyed, never mind, we don't have to go into that. So what I'm noticing is that we're putting fuel into the wrong parts and areas of our cars. We are giving energy and giving fuel to the wrong people. We are giving energy and we are giving fuel to the wrong ideas, the wrong thoughts, the wrong substances. And until we realize the role that we are playing in our own destruction, we will continually suffer this destruction and we will ultimately be destroyed. When a celebrity goes through things and things are released on a national level, the whole world reacts. Sometimes it's international, but the whole world reacts. The whole world gets behind one narrative or another. Now, the reason why this is a problem is because you are giving power and giving a God-like form of attention to a human being. The reason why I say that is because a lot of people have been saying to me that the baby should not have called the police on his baby mama. I like to use the phrase mother of his children, but let's keep walking the line. Now, this is the thing. They say he shouldn't have went live, and if he would have recorded the video for law enforcement, then it would not have been the same ramifications in the social court of law. So first off, I want to deal with that. He shouldn't have went live, record the video, this, that, and the third. Okay, so what's the difference between the baby going to his local law enforcement agency, this local law enforcement agency going to the local news station, the local news station releasing an article stating everything that was shown on the video, and then ultimately releasing the information on a national scale anyway? What's the difference between what he did and what would have happened and what could have happened and what we do see happen when we don't see video footage? These are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. These are the things that we have to really deal with. There is no difference whether one person knows or a million people knows how crazy she was acting that night. People know she will still be embarrassed. I don't care how large of a scale it's on, and then to speak about being with a celebrity anyway. And these people are pretend. These are people who more than likely have not even made it big in their local media, trying to dictate, dictate, or dare I say, mandate the actions or inactions of someone who is in a different spotlight. Look, the reason why I don't care what happened between them is because there are two other individuals. Something happened within their home. What's the difference between him coming out and telling the world what happened and one of these rappers coming out and saying that they eat butt? Because what happens in my bedroom is supposed to stay in my bedroom, and I'm not going to tell you what's happening in my bedroom. But if I do, then you have an inside scoop. So for me, it's just hard to see people looking at this situation and judging it, period. Because whether or not someone comes and tells you what happens in their bedroom or not, if they come and tell you, now you know, but that doesn't mean anything is going to change. Now, if one of the parties is embarrassed enough, then maybe it will change. Sometimes we cut in too much slack. We criticize this young man for the way he responded to being physically abused, and we would never do the same thing to a woman. That's the only point that I'm making. You can drive home that it's low vibrational and that it's of the wrong frequency or energetic essence, to use a word that I use often. You can say that he's operating on a low vibration or with a lower form of energy, but what energy are you operating under while you criticize someone who you are not? I done heard multiple prophets other than Jesus speak on not judging people. Yet we sit back and we tell them, our kids, and oh, hey, you better not never do that. But you don't know what type of situation it was for real. And for the life of me, I'm not able to understand how we aren't understanding how it is a part of media manipulation, social engineering, and things of that nature. How are you not understanding how you are being used and how you are a manifestation of others being used in order to keep a certain people in this society separated? You know, and I can use other words and other adjectives, but we'll go there later. We'll go there later. The point is the point. We are in such a condition right now that we have learned not to even see the black in us being the pot, and us pointing out the obvious in the kettle. We don't even see that. We're having issues, and I probably could have said that better, but oh well. I mean what I'm saying, and I don't think I'm gonna be done in 4 minutes. I mean exactly what I'm saying. And the problem is that we're giving energy to the same sources that are being used to hold us down as Black people, as Black men, as Black women, indigenous people of America. You know, and the issue, another issue that I'm having is we are under the spell of Willie Lynch, and some of us have not even read the letter. We've never heard the audio form of the letter. We've never heard of it. So we wouldn't even know that we participated in our destruction by continually finding ways to be other than our brother. Think about that. We are continually trying to find ways to look at what we would do differently from our brother instead of trying to build on what we actually did. Instead of giving him credit for not putting his hands on the woman, we criticize what he did in that stead. And I have not read a post that say, hey, he could have put his hands on her, and I commend him for not doing so. But I do feel like he was in the wrong for calling the police or going on live or. It would be different to me. But from the inside looking in, and then stepping out once I see that I don't belong in this room and I can see it from the outside, I can participate from both angles because I can, I can participate with an understanding of both angles. And one of the things is, if you give him his credit for what he did correct and then coach him on how to go about the rest of it, then it's called constructive criticism. When you build, you don't build by tearing a young man down. The boy is in his early 20s, if I'm not mistaken. Who are we to judge this young brother when maybe he didn't care what he did? He decided that he wasn't going to do her the way he did that boy in the mall. Y'all seen what he did to that young man? Excuse me for laughing. The reason why I'm laughing is because I tripped up over my own words and I shouldn't be calling either of them boys, them young men. What if his only goal was to make sure that he did not put his hands on her in the same way that he put his hands on that young man in the mall. And he got no credit from us individuals who may or may not have been in similar situations. Now we ask ourselves this question, because I'm giving myself time. And yes, this is part 2 of the media manipulation and you know, social engineering and things of that nature. Where was I going? Dang it, I can't stand when I do that. All right, I gotta bring that back. Where was I? Okay, I had a question or a different perspective on, okay, if it were the other way around, if a young man was, let's say, finding ways to need a place to stay so that a woman could cater to his need and a place to stay. What if it was a young man that was becoming hostile on a Sunday evening, had the police called on him, and instead of finding a way to leave immediately to keep these situations from happening, because if you are truly a victim and being enticed or being coaxed, I believe is the word, into actions that you would not normally commit under your own, you know, your own righteous mind, why would you not protect yourself, right? Okay, no, let's get back to the point because I don't gotta go there. If it was a young man who put his hands on a young woman on a Sunday night, the police did not remove him from the house on that Sunday night. And they told her to go file paperwork on him the next day. And even though this young woman had already been told to go file paperwork in the morning, this young man still puts his hands on her again. What would we be talking about? What would we be talking about? And I'm really wanting you to ask yourself that question. What would we be talking about? And of course, we'll never be able to prove a counterfactual. But what we will be able to do is discuss the hypotheticals so that maybe we may be able to navigate this in a more proper fashion. But as we give energy to what it is that he did not do or what he did wrong, we are not giving the energy to the part of him that was so manly that he would not physically defend himself against a woman who had assaulted him twice. This has been another episode of the Accountability Corner, where we have conversations with our higher selves that allows us to hold everybody accountable, but most importantly, ourselves. And that's that. That's that. And remember, my people, I didn't come to be defeated.